Hey, everybody. Welcome to Dating God's Way. Another night, another Tuesday night, live in the Impact Zone.
Yeah, hey y'all. Welcome.
Yeah,
Hey.
tonight is
Hello.
going to be exciting. Hey, Tara. Hey, Tiana. Edson on the house.
Yeah, hey Edson.
Hey, I want to introduce some folks to you all tonight. We got the fellas in the house. We got Emmanuel, we got Keenan, and we got Joe.
Yo, yo.
What's going on?
So everybody, y'all want to introduce yourselves? Tell us who you are, what you do, what's your favorite color, what's your favorite food? I don't know. Tell us a little something.
Something about yourself. Iman?
Man,
I guess I'll go first. My name is Emmanuel Stevenson. Um, my profession, occupation, I am in IT, help desk or desktop support. I also do music, produce, create, and I'm also a media tech head. So all of the videos and sound and engineering and all other good things. But that's a little bit about me.
It's a
uh,
show.
I'm Keenan. My profession is a corporate recruiter, but I also am into media and production. So that's a lot of what I do on my spare time. So
Um,
Keenan.
I'm Joe Fargo Jr. Um, I'm a barber stylist. Um, Day by day, but then outside of the shop, the salon, I am a music director for an agency band. Um, and then also, so I sing and play the drums.
he the
That's what
whole
I do.
band. He's the entire band. It's all him.
I know.
Hey, Bookie on the line. Hey,
Hey
Bookie.
Bookie.
Hey,
Hey,
Boogie. What up,
cousin
Boogie?
Bookie.
What
Hey.
up, Boogie?
So these are all my. I won't say little, but these are my younger brothers. These are my younger brothers. We knew each other. I knew them since they were in middle school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know,
That's
right?
crazy, bro.
That's wild. Wow. Whoa.
uh, attended some of their sports game and just I did my best to try to be at places where I could be. But these are my brothers, and we're gonna have a good discussion tonight that Pastor E is going to lead us through. So this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be funny. Y'all post some questions if y'all have
Mm,
any. React
help
to
us.
it. Give us
Help
some
us.
likes, some love, some laughs. Let's go, Pastor E.
All right. Hey y'all. So so everybody's in their 30s now. Is that true?
Not
Nope.
No.
quite.
Emmanuel is me
Emmanuel's
too,
in his
but
30s.
I'm 32.
Neither of you have reached 30 yet?
Emmanuel 32.
Okay. Okay,
I'll
okay,
be
okay,
I'm
I'll
okay.
be
old
20. I'll
head.
be 29 in February.
Okay.
I'll be 27 in December.
Okay. Okay. That all sounded right to me, but I didn't want to like young y'all out. So I was trying to bring y'all up a little bit. Okay, that's good. Okay, so so young adult discussion on tonight. Love it. So give a little bit of premise of Pastor Will did one of these with the girls the other week. And so we thought it would be good to do one with the fellas to get your perspective about the show is about dating God's way. So it should be about dating from God's perspective. But tonight we want to get some of your perspective. Now, your perspective could be some God perspective, or it could just be your perspective. We going for either one tonight. It's okay. And so one of the things we've been talking about, we started last week talking about the friend zone and this whole idea of friend first. So I want to kind of get into that first. This premise of being friends first, is that really a thing? Is that why? Like, talk to us about your perspective about the friends first before dating when it comes to the opposite sex.
I'll start. So I feel like I feel like my strongest relationship I've ever been in with a woman was somebody that I was literally of like a great friend with. I was just talking to Keenan about it, and all of y'all have met her. Um, but we were literally platonic friends. We shared a lot of the same friend groups and whatnot around, like whether it be classmates and just from around the way in school. Well, school me in college, and we built a great relationship for about like 4.5 years with the foundation of like, yo, that's my dog. Like it was so easy to have fun. Like I actually liked her versus just, oh, that's my girl. People can get stuck on just going on dates and just because they want to just say that they did. But like we actually enjoyed being around each other. Sometimes we would be chilling, saying nothing to each other while we're like watching TV. You know what I'm saying? I'd be on my phone, she on her phone, whatever the case. But it was just like we enjoyed each other's presence because of like I know what you like, I know what you don't like, just off the strength of like that's my friend. Like we go to the movies, we can go like she would play ball with me, go work out and stuff like that. So and it had nothing to do with that's my girlfriend. It was the fact that like we enjoyed each other. So I thoroughly believe that being real friends with the person that you are dating matters. It makes conversations easy. Everything was seamless because I was actually her friend. So like when we hear like Rocky's past in our relationship, we still lean on the fact that okay, like I can go and talk to my friend about how I'm feeling because I know that they won't go over the top, be over the edge with they won't what's it called, they won't gaslight me when it comes to me speaking my mind. So yeah,
Excellent.
yes, I agree that friendship it should happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point you make about that, Joe. You can talk to your friend about how you feeling. I think that's an important concept. Anybody else? Give us some feedback.
I
I
guess
can
I'll go.
go.
Can you,
Um, oh, okay. So basically, I do agree with being friends first. Um, I use. I was just thinking what Joseph was when Joseph was talking. Like you wouldn't date a stranger, right? So I feel in order to, I feel like you have to be friends first. You have to build that relationship. Everything begins with a relationship, right? So um, and that I feel that it's a process. You get to know that person. Um, you get to learn that person. To get to know the dislikes, likes, and what Joseph's saying. Hanging out, spending time with one another, and um, if you guys both feel like y'all want to take it to the next level, then at least y'all have that foundation. Okay, we have the basics in check. We know one another. We are comfortable with one another. We trust one another. I think you need certain things in entering I guess, a romantic relationship. So I think that's my say on that. I think you should be friends first.
It's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely agree with what both Joseph and Emmanuel said. I think that you don't want to get with somebody that you don't know, and then tough times are gonna come, right? I think when tough times come, when you like, I'm getting sick and tired of you. You got to have something to fall back on, and I think you have to fall back on that friendship. You know what I'm saying? You have to fall back on the fact that what, I can actually communicate with you, and I think it takes a lot of the pressure out of relationships when you're friends first because you're learning each other. You're learning each other. You're learning what you don't like, without the pressure of, oh, we're doing this to get married. We're doing this as genuine people. You know what I'm saying? We're just genuinely
Mm,
trying to get to know each other. I think
yeah.
it should be at a point where you just look up one day and you're like, yo, we might as well go ahead and just do this thing because we're already at this point where, you know what I'm saying, like, you irritate me, I irritate you, but I love you, you love me. Like we're learning each other as friends first, and I think that makes a relationship 10 times better. I won't say easier, but just better when you're able to have a foundation of being friends rather than just trying to build, going straight in with the thought process of let's just automatically have a relationship, let's automatically get in a marriage. You build trust.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we got into last week that I want to bring up in this is like, so one of the things I see that become an issue with women and men is like, because we communicate differently, right? Then the whole premise of friends first, like you just everybody articulated that amazingly, right? Like friendship matters, you can talk to your friend about how you feeling. We need a foundation. But because women and men communicate differently, what that can sometimes turn into is nothing. Yeah. Right, because the man is thinking like, okay, we're going through this process, but maybe not communicating that there is a process. So she like, okay, well, it's nothing, right? You're not doing nothing because maybe you are thinking friends first, but she don't know that. Yeah. So how do you build some intention in when you want to go beyond friends? Like, how do you make sure that the person doesn't get friend zone? You don't get friend zone and they don't get friend zone. If it's somebody that you really like, or you really think maybe they somebody that you could be kicking it with, how do you make sure it don't turn into a friend zone situation?
My number one rule in life: don't be an idiot. I don't care what that situation is. Keenan will tell you I say idiot all the time because so many things go along with the word idiot. And when you are that's because you just do dumb stuff. Like you start saying anything and everything doesn't match towards what's going on. Like, why are you talking to me as such? Why are you not talking? What makes you think that what you did was okay? You're being an idiot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm being as cut and dry as possible because that's how we talk all the time. If you get the easiest way to get friend zone is do something stupid like I'm trying to think of a situation.
I don't think we're there yet, Jeff. I don't think we're there.
Yeah, I don't know, but like it's just case by case because like what I don't like. If I'm in that space with you, you know what I don't like, you know what I do like. Like if you're nagging me, you're gonna get friend zoned. If you feel like that you need, like if we're just on this stage and we're just like we're talking as friends and we're trying to build something of that nature. If you were the type of like me, all right, I'll put it like this. Me and Keenan, we don't talk every day at all. I don't want to talk to him every day. Like he don't want to talk to me every day. If you are wanting to be up my butt all day, then why I can't be your friend. If you feel like that, if you feel like that all of my time is automatically if you automatically goes to you, my free time does not mean that I'm available for you at every moment. You know what I'm saying? That means I might have to I need that time for myself to go to look at emails. I might need that time to sleep. I might need that time to process my day or something like that. If you're interrupting that time, you're gonna get friends on because you're acting like an idiot.
Boom. So let's dig
into with that.
Go ahead, email before I get to Jeff.
So with that, it all goes to communication. That should be communicated in the beginning, because I'm no psychic, I'm no mind reader. You're no mind reader.
I'll tell you exactly what it is. That means you not listening. You are an idiot.
Well, I mean, so sometimes you just have to break it down to them. I mean, people don't think the way you think. So I feel that needs to be communicated clearly so you can avoid that issue. Now, if one person doesn't agree, then yeah, you might get friend zoned. But it has to be some type of mutual understanding of what the intentions are, the standards, or it has to be that initial communication for you to know.
I think this is a big one that Joe came up with. Go ahead, Joe.
If I'm giving you the signs and I'm telling you verbatim what it is, and especially something as simple as I don't like you like that, and if I tell you that and you're still bothering me,
okay,
you are going to get friend zone. Like if I'm telling everybody knows I'm a very straight shooter. Like y'all know me. Like, so it's like if I tell you straight up, like, bro, like, anything like that, I'm looking at you like that, and you still try to go on that tip. First of all, I'm going to avoid you, or it might
Block
get to a
the
point
number.
where now I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, come on, please leave me
See,
alone.
that's such a touchy. It's a tough subject now because even if we communicate, all right, I don't like you like that. We're also facing this whole fight for me generation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's like, they try to act hard to get. And so it's like, if you give up on the first try, it's like, oh, well, you wasn't meant for me because you're supposed to fight for me type situation. And that's just some of the stuff that I encounter with women. But it's tough. So you don't know whether or not, okay, do your no mean your no in this regard? Or does it mean fight for me a little harder because I'm telling everybody no. And I'm waiting for somebody who's just gonna be like, we're gonna apply pressure. That's what the word is now. I want you to apply pressure. And so it makes it very difficult, even when you communicate that I don't like you, but your actions, one, are saying something totally different, or two, you out there tweeting, don't nobody apply pressure to me and da 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 da. Like don't be an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like just communicate what you're saying, and mean it. Like we're adults now. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't like a person, just say you don't like a person. If you want somebody to apply pressure, tell them I just want you to apply more pressure or something like that. But nobody wants to give up. Pastor Ebony told me this when we was in Florida, but nobody wants to give up all of the information. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and again, it goes back to it's very difficult because we don't read y'all's mind, and y'all don't read our mind. You know, so it's like we have to talk. We have to say something like my no means I don't want you, or my yes means this apply pressure. So communication is absolutely essential. But then having the understanding of actually retaining what I'm communicating with you and not building your own agenda. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in your mind, you figure out I'm the man of your dreams, but I'm telling you I'm not. All you thinking is I'm the man of your dreams, and so anything I'm saying to you is going in one ear, not the other. So it has to be a level of clarity and understanding on both sides.
I also
Not to
think
be
like,
petty. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
go ahead, Joe. No, go ahead, Joe.
This may be a very petty thing, but if you text me Grand Rising, I'm not ever talking to you again.
Shut up.
Grand Rising. What is that?
Yeah, if you know people that ever say Grand Rising instead of saying good morning, if you call or
That's
if they
that.
say
That's that Young Van Zant vernacular.
you know what I'm saying? Like if you
What's
on
your zodiac
that, if you talking about zodiac signs, I'm not the one.
I think like friend zone also happens when there is no intention, or I'll say this, when there is no move shown towards either one of the parties. Like when there is when all the talk or all the actions stay in the realm of friendship,
Yeah.
and there is no action or intention shown towards moving beyond friendship, or not even moving, or something other than friendship. I think that's indicative of now we building this friend zone space, and once in that friend zone, it's really hard to get out of it.
One of the things that I like that Joe said that I think is really key though is the whole time perspective of like, one of the things I really value when I was dating, me and Pastor Will was dating, is we had our own lives. I love that, right? And so I do think that that's a great point of like, it's more attractive having someone that has their own life, that isn't looking for you to be their whole world. Would y'all agree with that?
I agree.
Yo, thank you, bro. So I'm so glad you said. I hear when people be like, "Oh, he completes me." I better not.
Yeah.
I hope not. I will not. Because if you say I complete you or he's my world, then look, I'm about to exit stage left, because that means you're going to depend on me for everything that resorts to your happiness. If you don't make yourself happy outside of me, then you're going to make you. Then I'm going to support you every time, because then the moment that I don't make you happy, now you're up in arms, because you're supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be that one. You're supposed to come with your 100. I'm supposed to come with my 100, and then we come together and we become another whole. But if you depend on me to make you happy, that's whack. You're an idiot.
God.
Which is the word for the night. I see that now. Yeah. Okay. And that's definitely 100. We not complete no people, right? And so I think that's a great point Joe making. We both come with our 100. Love that. But would y'all agree that it still is a miscommunication that be happening though? Like where the miscommunication be at? It be
because we don't know how to communicate.
okay.
We don't know how to effectively communicate how we feeling. We don't know how to effectively communicate what we want, what we don't want. Because the real truth of the matter is we really don't know what we want because it changes day to day based off of social media, based off of growth. So it's like you gotta, and then for real, we really don't understand us. I think that's really what the biggest thing is when you don't have a clear, you don't know how to effectively communicate you. It's going to come out in so many different ways. It's going to seem strange. It's going to seem weird. So you have to have an understanding of you first. I mean, if you even go back to, not to make it scriptural, but if you go back to Genesis, Adam was secure in who Adam was first before he got Eve. You know what I'm saying? So as a man, just speaking from a man, Adam had a job. Adam had responsibility. Adam had a mandate. Adam had a mission. Adam had an image. He had clarity of who he was first, so that when it was brought to him and presented to him, he didn't have to deal with an identity crisis. He could just be who he was and love this woman and be with this woman. And everybody was like, it was only Adam and Eve. That's the point. That's the whole point. Like as a man, you have to know who you are. You have to be secure in who you are, so that you're not out here like bleeding on all these women or bleeding on all these people. So you can effectively communicate when you're not in an identity crisis. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I love that, Kenan.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Effectively communicating who you are.
Yeah.
Right. It's
and it's not even just who you are. It's just when I do know who I am, I don't have to be out here giving you all these different confusing. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is what I want. What I don't want. No, I know what I want because I'm secure in who I am, and I don't have to what I'm saying. Again, I don't have to bleed. So.
Yeah, one of our posters said people aren't honest. I think people aren't honest because they don't know how to be honest. They don't know who they are, right? How can you be honest about something you don't know?
Yep, that's true.
Right. And if you, as Kenan said, are you being influenced by social media, by this person's opinion, by that person's opinion? It's very hard to communicate who you are then, right?
But also being honest according to whose standards, right? Yeah. Being honest according to your standards. Because if I'm being as honest as I can be to myself, but you have another standard of honest, then yes, you're right. I'm never honest then, because it's hard to live up to your standard of honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get into that right quick. Standards. Right, yeah, Joe shaking his head on this one. Joe really liked this one. Standards, right? Even when you're dating God's way, there must be standards, right? And I think sometimes people think if we out here dating God's way, it's just up for a free for all. Oh, I'm going to get in a dream that you're my husband, and then I'm going to come to you and say that I saw it in a dream. You're my husband. No. Okay, so first of all, we're not doing no hooky spooky. Okay, no, because both people, that's witchcraft for number one. Both people have to decide that they're going to be in a relationship with each other. Okay, so God ain't trumping your free will. Okay, let me just get that out there for some of the people on broadcast tonight. But so then if you have a choice, tell us a little bit about your standard. Like, what's your standard out here in the dating world? What's your standard?
Go ahead, Brother Kenan.
Bro, man, you ain't said nothing. I'll go ahead first.
Well, me personally, I can only speak for me. My standard. Can you come back to me because I'm trying to get my words right before I go ahead, because we live now, so I want to make sure I have my words right.
Okay, yeah, you want to make sure you get it right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
give me some time. Go ahead,
Kenan. Joe Ratty, I know that. You got unmute, Joe.
This will be done.
Sorry, no, I'm not going. All right, so very, very serious. Like, you got to have a relationship with the Lord for yourself. Yeah. I stopped talking to this girl because I felt like I was her crutch into her seeking the Lord. So like
Wow.
she will only like she was like, oh, I need to be on the phone with you, like going up. She used to live in a time zone. She was like, I gotta be on the phone with you to check in and whatnot, so we can read together. Blah, blah. I'm like, that's cool. I was like, but same thing. If you're looking for me to be the only
Yeah.
reason why you approach this situation, then it's
Yeah.
not about to work because first of all, we're in a different time zone. My work
Yeah.
schedule is different. My work schedule is different than your work schedule. The things that I do outside of work is keeps me super busy sometimes. So like that means I have to have my own personal time when I, talking to the Lord. You got to have your own time. We can come in and check in about what we talked about. You know what I'm saying? What we, what I'm saying? But if the only reason why you're going after the Lord because you see me like you are waiting on me to do it, then it's not gonna work. I also
Yeah.
stopped talking to the other girl where she was like, "Well, I know that you're really strong in your faith, so I'll be more down to be a part of it because I'm talking to you." That's not gonna work because it's not something that you want for yourself. That means I ain't about to be talking to you no more because like, yo,
Yeah.
you're depending on me for something that you should want to do. This one girl asked me, could I train her? I was like, I can't want you to be in shape more than you want to be in shape. So that means I'm not gonna train you. So like, if you can't go to the gym on your own, yeah, can I help you, push you? Yes. But if the only reason why you want to be in shape because, dang, like I see Joseph, like he be at the gym all the time or whatever, or you're only going to the gym is when I'm the one walking you through these workouts. I can't
Mhm.
I can't monitor you while you eat. I can't monitor you while you're saying your sleep schedule. I can't monitor none of that. That's on you. So that's literally like if that's my stance. Like if you don't want it for yourself, I can't rock with you. And
Yeah.
let alone I ain't even going to even consider a relationship with you if you don't know Jesus at all.
Mhm.
Yes, it is our job to be a light, but I don't think it's my responsibility to have. I don't think that's my level of responsibility. I don't get paid enough to be someone to and like if you are in another faith, I respect you for you being in somebody else's. Like if you are a Muslim, if you are Buddhist, whatever, I don't know. I respect you. That's cool. But in terms of the relationship, I can be your friend. I can be just that. I can be platonic. But when it comes to that, that's like my number one standard.
I'm glad that you extracted those words from my brain, Brother Joe. Um, Honestly, I would have to piggyback on that because I've made a few mistakes with trying to quote unquote help um, lead people or lead in, this particular person to Christ. And I made that mistake where I was their God. They came to me and I got drained. So that's one lesson or one standard that I created for myself. Okay, if you don't know God, like what Joseph said, or if you're not trying to form any sort of relationship or work towards that on your own, then that would be like a red flag for me. Um, I try grace. I give you some grace. However, if how can I put this in words? If I don't see anything going, if you always expected me to um, do certain things and you're not doing it for yourself, it's straining to me and it's not really helping you. And it's stunting both our growth when it comes down to building that relationship with God. So that is a big thing for me now. It's like, okay, how is your relationship with God? If I mean, and I'm not saying that we have to be on the same level, but at the same time, I feel like you have to be doing something. Do that make sense?
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, God, there has to be your own. But I heard you say your own personal progress and growth. You can't just be growing because I'm growing and I'm growing you. That's a no, no, and a no. I agree
But
with
you're
that.
not, yeah. I definitely agree with that. So, Kenny, your turn.
Oh, they took it. That was a good one. But I would just say, one of my standards is being on your own healing journey. It is not my responsibility to knock down the walls that I didn't build in your life. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I can do is help. I can assist, but it is not my
Yes.
responsibility to build in you or to fight all of the demons that you took. So in other words, heal.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Heal, because I got my own stuff I'm dealing with, right? And so
Yeah.
I can't be trying to deal with my stuff and heal you for you. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times when we don't let go of trauma, we take out on other people what they ain't never done to us. And so now it causes stuff to be more friend zone because now you got your guard up, or it causes you to miss out on someone good because you aren't healing, or you'll take advantage of something good, or you'll mismanage something good. So I would just say be on your own healing journey. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that someone told me about it was, it's like a triangle, right? When God is at the top and you got two people, when they're pursuing God, they're growing closer together. When they're healing on their own, they're growing closer to God, which can allow them to meet at the top. But for as long as you try to clash with each other, or as long as you try to, heal each other, you're only going to clash with each other. And so it has to be, I'm healing, and there's only one person who can really heal you. That's the Holy Spirit. He can walk through you, tell you about yourself, and if you're not willing to listen for the Holy Spirit correct you on you, don't try to tell me how to correct me, because you become a hypocrite. You become manipulative, right? So heal.
Right.
Healing is so important mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's way more important than we think, because when you are unhealed, you are blinded, essentially.
So,
you know what I'm saying? Because you're looking through the lens of all this other stuff.
So question, and I guess a question that I would pose, does that mean that that person have to be perfect, or?
No.
Right. Okay.
No, but if you're, okay, so a lot of people parade around their toxicity. So it's like people will say stuff like, I know I'm dealing with this, and so what? That's me. But there's no process, there's no progress. You're not seeing them wanting to work on it. They just like, that's just, I have to live with it. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to progress. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking you to want to be better, to show the steps of wanting to be better, because actions speak louder than words, right? So it's
the reason why I asked that, because a lot of people think they have to be perfect and have no flaws, and that's not what we're trying to say. I feel we all have a process. We all are dealing with things, but like what Keenan was saying, if I don't see any sort of progression or you wanting to make a change for the better, then we may have a problem. So that's one reason why I asked that question, because a lot of people think they have to be perfect.
Agreed, because Keenan brought up the triangle analogy, and there's more than one type of triangle. So a perfect triangle will be an acute triangle. You know what I'm saying? In an equilateral triangle where all the sides are the same. You know what I'm saying? No matter which way you turn it, every time. But then you have an obtuse triangle. You know what I'm saying? You have a right triangle where you still have 3 points, but at the top you're going to meet at, like, for instance, a right triangle has one right angle of a 90 degrees. Then you have another one at 45 degrees that reaches up to the top, right?
Good job.
That side, and so you have Pythagorean theorem that goes a squared equals b squared plus c squared. All of those things add up to equal a. You know what I'm saying? B squared plus c squared is going to add up. They're going to add up to equal a. Now those variables are different to still equal what a is. A squared is. You know what I'm saying? So our a squared is the Lord. You know what I'm saying? We have our different times that our different rates of growth and whatever. It's gonna add up to get up to that point. So it's not gonna happen at the same time, because the C line on the right triangle is most of the time a longer distance than what what A is. You know what I'm saying? So like either way, you still get to that point. So like, no, you're not gonna be perfect. But the whole point is, as Keenan said, it's got to be some type of growth, bro, or else it ain't gonna work.
Wow.
So in other words, you're not doing deliverance. I ain't nobody. Y'all not doing personal deliverance, doing dating. Okay. I'm just asking a question.
That's exactly it.
So so another thing that I'm kind of hearing is that isn't that same weight of expectation the same on both sides?
I'm sorry, repeat that question.
isn't that same rate of expectations on both sides. So just as you are looking in her for those not to be those things or for her to be those things, she at the same time is looking for you to, you may be that short side of the triangle where she's longer at in some cases.
Yeah.
It's true. It should be both. That's the only way that it works. You know, people say, I'm bringing 50% of me, I'm bringing 50% of you. That's stupid. Why are you only bringing half of you and accepting somebody else who's bringing half of them? You got to bring 100% of you. I got to bring 100% of me. That's the only way we're going to figure out if this is going to work. That's the only way it can work. You know what I'm saying? And that's honesty. That's trust. It's not bringing half of what you got going on. It's two people who are willing to put in the same amount of work to make it work.
Yeah, you know, something that this is bringing up for me is, you know, when you're talking about personal progress, personal growth, personal standards, is, you know, this idea of that I think sometimes religion or church takes out of these concepts, right? It's like, just because we're dating God's way and we're dating in church does not take the value out of some of the same things that you would expect from somebody that is you're going to see married that's being successful, right? Like church or God doesn't take value out of the same values or standards that are important, right? We're starting with God, that's correct, relationship with God, but there are also some other things that you're looking for, right? There are also some other things that the person has to show up in a certain way. So what is attractive? What's attractive to you as
intelligence?
Y'all, Kenan is slaying the spirit. Kenan is like, we go past E with this stuff. All right now. He like, here she go with this stuff. I just thought it was attractive to you. That's it.
Yeah.
What's attractive to me
God.
is a woman by the name of Ari Lennox. No, for real. You got to be intelligent, bro. Like, I have to be able to have a real conversation with you. Like, and I don't mean you have to be no bookworm, but like, you just have to be able to form a proper sentence. It sounds very surface level, but it's really people out here that think that they run that they speak with with no regard for anything. I need you to be financially stable on your own. Because if we talking about building a relationship together, and like you gotta know what you gotta do with your money. You gotta be able to save. You gotta be able to you ain't gotta be no super investment guru, but just you have to be financially literate. And if you're not right now, that's okay, because Google's free. So
Google free.
Google is free.
Because I'm a hairstylist and my mother was a hairstylist, what's attractive to me, you can't be walking around with your hair jacked up, bro, because it's not gonna get past me. Like, I know all of that. And if you say, oh, it costs too much, I do hair, I do eyebrows, I do all of that. So like, you can't say that it can't happen because I'm the one to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that stuff matters. You gotta be able to dress. You can't have no whack sense of style. Listen, I got to be able to look at you.
True. No, that's true.
I mean, that is very real. Anybody that lie and say, "Oh, looks don't matter," you're lying.
That's the devil.
Let's get it tonight. That's what we're here for. The truth. We're here for the truth tonight.
Two eyes, amen.
And if you say, "Oh, like let's say, your teeth can be messed up," you know what I'm saying? Like, and if you say, "Oh, it's too expensive," go to University of Maryland medical school. The dentists at their school do it for super cheap.
You go send them to the students.
Yes, because they are ready. Those students are ready to be in a dental office. They will do everything that you want super cheap because they are trained to do so. So it's no excuses.
Somebody asked the question, does she have to get her hair down all the time? That was a question that was just posed.
No. Let's be real. My hair is not cut all the time. I have the opportunity to cut my own hair, so I got lucky. But
Right.
you don't gotta be you ain't gotta be pristine all the time. But come on, yo.
You got to be put together. You got to be put together. At
Something.
least.
Together.
Something.
Look presentable. I feel like, okay, so if you're going out to the store or whatever, no bonnet, please. I feel like you should, dress presentable. You never know what you're meeting or who you meet. So get your hair done or wrap it up. I would prefer, instead of having it all any types of ways, put like a little cap on, make it look good. But if you have Monique had this big old, she said something about wearing bonnets in the airport. I agree with that. I mean, you gotta look right. So don't go out looking all any kind of way. If you don't have your hair done, put a hat on. Boom.
Be presentable on these
Be
errands.
presentable.
That's what I'm
Yes.
hearing. When you on these errands, be presentable.
I
Probably
can't
don't
really
have your
talk. I
budget
can't really
slippers on.
talk against nobody wearing a bonnet because I wear do-rags when I go to the airport. So that's the same thing.
I mean, that's match energy. Match my energy at that. Match my energy.
So with that, what Joseph just said. So he wears a do-rag, but most people think most females think attractive. Boys wearing or men wearing do-rags. So is it a double standard from the men and the women? So I mean, I think about that stuff too, but I don't know.
Yeah, but be presentable. I'm with that. Be presentable when you're going out for errands. The fuzzy slippers taking me out. I'm just telling y'all. The fuzzy slippers and the pajama pants is taking me out, y'all. Every time I go, me and Pastor Will at the store, I'm like, what is happening, y'all? Okay, I'm sorry. I had to get that's my own.
People care no more.
But I think especially,
I don't think people care no more.
I think especially if you unmarried or single, if you're out in the dating world or you're available, I think going out presentable, you never know who you're going to attract or who you're attracted to once you're out. You never know who you're going to cross by at the grocery store, right?
Very true. Yeah.
But even outside of, I think even outside of dating, like you never know again who you will meet. I mean, I know I hope I don't go out of topic, but you could be meeting the next boss or like you never know. So I've always learned when I was in school, I was a part of a program, and the program required us to dress up because of those principles. You never know who you meet. You might be meeting the next CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and if you wearing just anything, you could be missing out on the opportunity. So I think it's all around.
You have anything you would add to the list, Kanan?
Be a woman. Like I mean that I mean that in a lot of different ways, but but
Thank you for saying that, yo.
The main one is I don't need you to act like a man. I don't need you to have mannish tendencies. Like I understand like you've been hurt and all that type of stuff, but I need you to still be your emotional, still be in touch with your femininity. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need you to try to act all hard and tough. Like, you know, one of the things that women say now is I don't need a man. I could do this, that, and the third. Okay, that's probably why you don't have a man. You can't take away a man's job and then expect a man to want to be there. Like if you don't need me, then why am I here? Why would I be there? Why would any man be there? So I think be a woman. Like I don't need you to be hardcore all the time. I don't need you to be tough. It's one thing to be the homie. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing, be cool, be chill, be down to earth. But you know what I'm saying? Like want to get your hair done every now and then, want to get your nails done. I don't need you to walk around here like Debo. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't need you to have a deep voice. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of yell at me. You know, like why? Like it's stupid. So personally, this is my personal thing. Just be a woman. Be in touch with who you were created to be as a woman. You know what I'm saying? Everything comes with that. So.
I think it was one holiday or birthday or something. I brought Pastor E like some Timbs and some jeans.
It was our honeymoon, y'all, because we was going to the Poconos on our wedding anniversary. On our honeymoon in December.
I wanted to toughen her up a little bit, just a little bit.
I didn't have any clothes. I only had dresses and skirts. for the Poconos in
He
the
say, "Well,
woods,
toughen the road."
yo.
A little bit.
You bought her Tim's for the Poconos?
It was snowing. It was December.
Keenan mentioned what's it called? Just he said, just be a woman. Like he mentioned about just how you dress or whatnot. Now, don't dress like Little House on the Prairie, because I'm not gonna be attracted to you. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that I want you to, I want you dressing, like you about to go to, strip club. But like you can be sexy with dignity. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, most definitely.
so yeah.
So in other words, you're saying that you don't want her to be all like she got the church dress on all the way up
Modest.
like too much. It's
Right.
got to be a middle section between
Right.
stripper and the church mother.
A middle
Yeah,
section between
somewhere-
stripping and I don't want that middle.
Lord, what is happening?
I'm saying the way a stripper dresses, Pastor Will, not.
Okay.
I understand you, Pastor. I
Thank you.
understand.
It has to be a middle ground between somebody that looks like she about to go out on the street and somebody who is on the front row being the church mother, right? So
Right.
I agree with that. Got to be some type of middle ground. Yes.
And that for
Okay.
me is that for me, what you just said in regards to showing too much skin like a stripper, for me, that's unattractive.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's unattractive to me. You don't have to show all your skin to get a man or to now people will look, but they might not be looking the way that you think they're looking. And like if I see somebody like that, I'm like, put some clothes on. But that's just me.
Yeah. Too much is too much.
Too much is too much.
Too much is too much.
So we
Okay,
got a
we have our
question
first
here.
question. Are we ready? Okay. Okay, so when you guys are in a relationship with somebody, how do you keep the holiness within it? Like what kind of boundaries do you set up to keep respecting each other and value each other's relationship with God? How you keep them boundaries and stuff in when you are in a dating relationship?
Great question.
That's a beautiful question. You're intelligent. That's a great question. No, I think number one, understanding what it means to actually be holy, right? I mean, you can't want to be in a holy relationship and you not know what the definition of being holy is. Obviously, the guidelines and the principles that are set forth in the Bible, but two, you got to be serious about your own holistic journey, right? So I can't just be like, I can't go in a relationship with somebody who wants to be holy, and I'm like, nah, I want to be hellish. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got to be with somebody who has the same expectation, who wants the same thing, who actually wants to do it God's way, and then setting up those boundaries. What do those boundaries look like? You got to know you. If you know you are a touchy-feely person, if you know that all it takes is for him to slide up your thigh, or she to touch the back of your neck. You know what I'm saying? Know your boundaries. You know what I'm saying? If you know that at 10 o'clock every night you get in that little phase in that place where you like, yeah, I'm trying, yeah. You gotta know yourself is what I'm saying. That's how you're gonna be able to set those boundaries up. But if you don't know you, it's gonna be very difficult for you to set boundaries because you don't know what you like, what you don't like. So, and then communicate them properly. Communicate what your boundaries are. I mean, for a period of time, I was like, yo, don't call me after 10 o'clock. I don't want to talk to nobody after 10 o'clock. I know myself. I know where the conversation can go. There's only a few places it's going to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to know yourself until you get to a level of progress and growth. But I think communicating effectively what your boundaries are, that's how you'll know if you want to pursue being with somebody. If they can't respect the boundaries that you set, they don't respect you. You know what I'm saying? That's man and female. You know what I'm saying? So I think hopefully that answers some.
Yeah.
The name of the show is Dating God's Way. So y'all gotta at some point very early have a conversation, ask each other, okay, what is God's way?
Yeah.
And that literally, like, I think it honestly starts off as like, what is our responsibility as believers in Christ? And because if we're not, so I don't know if it was Emmanuel Keenan, they talked about grace. I honestly believe, just trying to just in my own prayer, I'm studying. It's like, all right, I think that we show grace. I don't think that we are the ones that are. We're not the grace giver. The Lord is the grace giver. You know what I'm saying? Like we are a reflection. So like just how the moon reflects the light from the sun, like we are only able to show it. We're able to show what Jesus looks like. We're able to show what what he talks like and loves unconditionally, like so all those different things that are his characteristics. We are able to show it and embody it, but we are not the ones who are the supplier of it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to say, like, all right, Lord, like allow for me to show this person grace. Allow for me to for this person to see you when they date me. You know, like the same way we want the Lord to see. We want people to see Him when they converse with us. When we are worshiping, when we're whatever, when we're at work. Like this one MD that I play alongside. One of the best things I ever heard him say, he was like, and he had to let somebody go. He had to let another drummer go in order to bring me in to play. And he said to the guy, he said to the band, like, I'm gonna still show you Christ. Like I had to ask myself, am I still involved in Christ in this tough conversation of me letting you go to bring somebody else in? To your, so it's like that's the same thing. We gotta show that in the midst of our relationship endeavors.
Yeah. You want to add anything, Iman?
No, man. No, Pastor.
They did all that. They didn't think that, did they?
I don't want to sound like a broken record. Yeah, I don't have anything right now. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I think we made some you guys made some excellent points about knowing your boundaries, communicating them, and both people having to understand. I think that is another point that just make things unchill, right? Like you at a certain place in your relationship with God, and then you trying to bring somebody into that. You can't bring nobody into that. Like they where they are, you where you are. So you just kind of meeting up in the conversation where you are. And I like what you said, Kenan, about start the God conversation early. Okay, I got some questions coming into my inbox because sometimes that's how they do that. So one question is, okay, here we are. So the question is about do men still pursue women? Is that a thing? Or is it like, now we are just in a different stage and age? Like in the young adult age, is pursuing still a thing? That's the question.
If ain't no man pursuing you, you ain't the one. We still do that. That's your fault if he's not pursuing you. So people be like, oh, do men still do this? Yes, we do. It's just you're not the right one to do it for. So you might be doing something wrong if we're not doing it for you. That means we don't like you.
Oh my Jesus.
You have not. Let me translate that from Joe. Y'all choose Joe tonight.
Joe working.
Joe working. Yeah. So he's straight to the point tonight. So in other words, he's saying that make sure you are being pursuable, that you're in a space of being pursued. If you want to be pursued by someone, make sure that you are in a whole place to be pursued. All right, give me some more on that. What else, y'all?
My dad had a message of, he talked about Ruth and his interpretation of Ruth, where she didn't just randomly put her, say somebody come find you and show her Boaz or whatever. She went to where she knew that she had to provide, she did some grain for her to take back to her old mother-in-law, whatever. And so she put herself in the position to receive from who she wanted to receive from.
That's it. She put herself in a place to be found. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's the word right there, Joe. Beautiful way to wrap that up. That was really good.
Yeah. I say yes. Go ahead. What's that getting?
Yeah, men are still pursuing women. That's good and bad, unfortunately. But I would say yes. Yes, men are still pursuing women.
What's the bad side of it, Kanan?
Huh?
What's the bad side of it?
You just got creeps. There are some dudes that are just creeps. You know what I'm saying? That are just doing the most. stalkers, like, you know, so just doing crazy stuff. But I will say, are real men still pursuing women the way that, you know, our grandfathers pursued our grandmothers, things like that? I would say yes. I think, and it's happening really at a rapid rate. But again, there's so many factors that would cause us not to see that, and cause us not to really believe that. So I'll just leave it there. But I think yes. I have a lot of brothers. I have a lot of guys that I see that are pursuing women. I mean, even the women that they feel like they ain't got a chance with, they're pursuing them. The pursuit may look different for every man. And again, you only know what you know. You don't know what you don't know. So my way of pursuing could be very different than how Joseph's pursuing a woman, or how Emmanuel's pursuing a woman, or even how Pastor Will pursued Pastor E. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still think that guys are pursuing women. I really think we're doing it at a very high rate. It's just so many factors that, you know, are human.
Yeah, somebody talking about the creepiness a little bit, you know, that some men pursue a lot of women at one time, right? And so I'm gonna just put this out here, right?
But one is pursuit and another is praying.
Yeah, that's
yes.
Yeah.
I think that we need to be very clear about
Really good.
what's pursuit and what's preying on women, right? That's something very different. When somebody is preying on someone, right? Let's just be straight up, just to get in the draws or whatever the case is, right? That's going to be preying. But when we're talking about pursuit, I do think that for men and women, if you are single, you may be getting to know various people at one time. I think that's a fact. That was a fact for me, just to be straight up. You know, Pastor Will definitely wasn't the only guy I was talking to when I first was talking to him. That's true. And so I think I think that's a straight up, that you just gotta be straight up, you know.
Yeah.
That's a fact. We don't even know. I don't even know you yet. I think going back to what Emmanuel said, I don't even know you yet. So why am I going to be exclusively talking to you when I don't even know you yet? So I think that, in my opinion, that expectation is foul. What you think, Kenan? I see you got me a little bit like, I don't know.
I'm tossing because that's a touchy subject. Like, are you allowed to pursue, as a man, are you allowed to pursue multiple women at one time? And then you have to ask yourself, like, what is pursuit? What does pursuit look like in that case? You know what I'm saying? So it's tough. It's very tough because, you know, it's only tough because you don't know. You don't know who you want to be with a lot of times. And so it's like, you got to get a feel for who you want to be with. And I hate the fact that a lot of people make it seem like it's only men doing that. No, it is women out here entertaining multiple guys at one time. Y'all might just be a little smarter about how you're doing it, but we just
say that.
you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, is that a problem? Is it a problem to pursue multiple women? Or is it not? I think when you are, well, go ahead, Pastor.
No, I was gonna say, I think, Kenan, though, like having friendships with multiple women and then pursuing, I think there has to be a difference, right? If you telling me, for example, the pursuit, in my opinion, is you telling your intention, that you have an intention that's going beyond friendship, right? So that to me is a pursuit. The pursuit doesn't start until the intention is stated, right? So if you're telling multiple women that you have an intent to be with them, then that is whack, right? But if you have multiple friends that you're getting to know, I think that's all right.
But that's tough because you got girls that's like, I don't just want to be your friend. You got to tell me what it is from day one. I just met you. I don't even know your name yet. And your first thing to me is, what we doing? Where we going?
I think you can pursue a wife. And while you're pursuing wife, there are many women that you are friending to possibly be in that space of wife. But I'm pursuing because a man finds a wife. So I'm finding my wife. Now can you or you are you that one to step into that role? Is that?
I mean, look.
When I say that's it, and I'm just saying that's it for a woman and a man. There is no double standard with that. That's it. So as a man, can you be confident enough to be the answer? for both you and the person you have a friendship with. Because that's when we're going to get in trouble.
I have to
It's
meditate on
only
that
good
one.
for men, but not good for women. So that's why we got to have the conversation. Is it okay for both people?
Yeah.
Because she looking to be found too.
I think if you communicate, I think that's where it gets tricky, is when you're not communicating the fact that, hey, I'm interested in you, but you know, I'm entertaining multiple people. Nobody wants to tell anybody that. You know what I'm saying? Because it looks bad. It sounds like you're not going to give me your all. You know what I'm saying? So if you're communicating, I think that's a one-off thing. It's a person by person, case by case. Because there's some people that's just like, yeah, you go ahead date whoever, you know, figure out what you want, whatever. Because I'm doing the same thing, and we can figure out, you know, whatever.
But I did.
Some other people that's like, nope, make me your one and only. I want to be the only person you love, like the only person you pursuing, all that. You know what I'm saying? All that type of stuff. So it's a one-off case, but I definitely think. I mean, it goes back to what we said first: communication. Like, talk. Tell me what you're pursuing, or you still out here. Don't have me out here thinking I'm the person you talking to, and then I see you, you know, you doing all this.
I definitely have to piggyback on that one, because I think for me that would be hard for me if we're talking, and then I see you out with some other man. Oh, that would hurt me, especially if it hasn't been communicated. If it's communicated, then I can deal with it a little better. But I feel like if it's not communicated, that might sit with me a little weird. I don't know.
Well, this is what I said about the wisdom point that we can draw from this, is that it doesn't work for everybody. So that's one thing. It doesn't work for everybody. But I do think that's why it's important that if you're really in a friend zone, then that's where you at. Right? It's being clear about when it's friend zone and when it's pursuit. Like, I think that's the place where both people need to be honest, because if we're just friends and you're saying you only want to be friends, why you mad if I'm out with somebody else?
Exactly.
Right?
I agree.
This is what I used to get with Pastor Will about y'all. I ain't gonna gas him up tonight. But like, if you said you don't never want to get married, you just want to be friends, why you care about what I'm doing in my free time?
Why you being weird? Why you being weird to me?
Because you never intended for that. That's what I talked about. Like you faking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just want somebody to apply pressure. Like, say what you mean from the beginning.
Say what you
want.
Yeah.
Don't have me out here like making it seem like I'm the bad person because I'm doing this. But you never communicate.
I did tell her what I did tell her what I wanted up front. I said I don't want no wife.
And then,
there you go.
What happened? What happened?
You kept hanging around.
What happened? Right, because it is true that in some cases you're finding out what you really want.
Yeah.
And I think that's being honest with yourself as a young adult, wherever you are in your journey, saying like, I'm figuring it out and I'm friending right now while I'm figuring it out, instead of having intention with too many people and then messing people hard up.
Yeah.
All right, we got another question because we got to roll out of here. What about accountability in relationships? We just willy-nilly in it, or do we have some level of like spiritual accountability? What y'all think about that topic tonight?
Let me speak on this first. Before I did things my way and it messed me up bad. Now I'm a firm believer of accountability. And I'm a firm believer in accountability because, especially with your spiritual leaders, because that's who God has placed in your life. If you have issues in regards to relationship, or if you're single, whatever, I feel like you should be comfortable in sharing. And me personally, I struggle with that, and I'm learning how to be accountable to my spiritual leader, Bishop McCargo. And the day that I did this a couple of weeks ago, and I shared with my pastor. It felt so weird because it's something that I have to unlearn. What goes into how stay in this house type of mentality or mental thinking. So I'm learning more how to express myself and gain wisdom, because I tried doing it on my own. That didn't work out too well. So now being accountable to somebody, just making sure your head is on straight, getting clarity if you are feeling some type of way, that spiritual counseling or that accountability is really key when it comes down to relationships. Again, not just, romantic relationships, but any other business relationships or church relationships, spiritual relationships. That accountability for me now is key, and I'm still learning how to, express myself more, because I'm not a person that expresses a lot. When it comes down to personal issues, I'm a very private person. I don't want people in my business. But however, I think you can hurt yourself by keeping a lot of things in. So for me personally, definitely that accountability is very key.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Emmanuel.
Good, man.
Yeah.
I think accountability is super vital. Accountability can save your life, honestly, because so in accountability, you have to ask yourself, okay, who am I accountable to? What am I accountable to? Who are the people in my life that are keeping me accountable to that or to them? So it's super important. And Joseph said something to me years ago that I never forgot. He said, the moment you become aware, you become accountable to what you became aware to. And so I don't know if the conversation is more so accountability as it more is awareness. Because if I'm aware of the fact that, this is the way that God wants me to live, this is the way that God wants me to date, I got to have people around me who are able to hold me to what I'm aware to. You know what I'm saying? Who are able, and then you have to trust the people that you are calling your accountability partners, because if they're falling in this area, how can they pick you up in that same area? You know what I'm saying? And so I think accountability is probably, when it comes to relationship outside of communication and trust, I think it's definitely top 5, because when you're dating, you should have friends who you're able to be like, yo, this is who I'm talking to, because they can see stuff that you don't see. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're in the infatuation stage, you can be like, yo, shorty, he broke. What did you, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't gonna be able to do this, like whatever the case may be, or he's broken, or she's manipulative and stuff like that. So accountability is absolutely important, but then you have to be a person who is willing to not be stubborn enough to listen to, what you're accountable to and the people that you're accountable to. So, yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. This how we're gonna wrap up tonight. Thanks for that, Keenan. We're gonna end with the top 5. And so what I heard you say, what I heard y'all say tonight: God, communication, trust, accountability, and being whole are the top 5.
Top 5.
For top 5.
It's 6. Don't be an idiot.
Don't be an idiot.
Don't be an idiot.
I'm telling you, the sooner you simplify things down to don't be an idiot, everything will be so much easier. Because if you're doing dumb stuff, you're an idiot. If you don't use common sense, you're an idiot. If you don't listen after I told you exactly what I like and don't like, you're an idiot. If you're naive, you're an idiot. Like, all of those things. Like, if you just don't listen, if you don't listen to what you're accountable to, you're an idiot. Like, come on, yeah. That's just.
So it all comes down to the top 5 plus don't be an idiot. Pay attention. Make sure you're paying attention. Don't make assumptions. Don't be naive. Be intentional, and that goes both ways. So we we pushing it on both ends of the spectrum, when men and women. But these are our top 5 tonight. Any last words y'all want to leave us with tonight about dating God's way? Getting to your potential pursuer. Get yourself together. You got anything you want to say? So get yourself. Want to put it out in the atmosphere a little bit. Get yourself. Okay, no, that's what I said. I'm sorry. No, y'all might not want to put that out there. I do. Get yourself together.
Get yourself together. I concur.
I would just say it's not easy. I mean, dating God's way is definitely not easy.
It's not.
Because we got urges, we're pulled in so many different directions. And then Paul talks about it's like a war within our members. So it's not easy, but it's worth it. It protects you from so much. And a lot of people look at the Bible as a thing to keep them bound, but really it keeps you free from the stuff that ultimately binds you. And so
Yeah.
when you're able to, comprehend it better, it's actually a protecting mechanism more than it is a prison. So I would just say, it's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. And even if you slip up, grace, man. We don't just receive grace to release it, but we receive it to be able to have an understanding that, you know what, I mess up, I can still go back to God because He's still a Father at the end of the day.
Yeah.
One thing I could say, this is something I actually studied this morning during my prayer and devotion time, and it was talking about staying covered, right? When we're uncovered, we can't have that. Stop it, Kenan.
Why Kenan running around the church yard? What is wrong with y'all?
Hey, wait. Put him in E flat. Matter of fact,
let me turn my keyboard on. Let me turn my keyboard on.
Put him in E flat more to make it scary.
Make it scary.
Okay, so staying covered. You gotta stay covered under God. God gives you the wisdom, gives you the discernment, the knowledge. When you're outside of God's covering, it's just bad. And it reminded me of the prodigal son when he wanted to do his own thing, and he went outside the covering of his father, and that gave the enemy leeway to attack him in many other ways. So that's my thing, is staying covered, being under a good covering, staying under covered by God, but in regards to your church community, staying covered, being in a church community that is teaching you things like dating God's way, what Pastor Ebony Willie is doing. I really appreciate the conversations that you be, the episodes that y'all have been doing it, because it helps me. I watch, but having these type of discussions is definitely needed, especially when you're trying to do things the right way and God's way. So that's me. I'm done.
What I heard you say is,
Joe, other than don't be an idiot.
Yeah, all right. So on no funny stuff. So one of the things that my mom said to me when I was like my freshman year of college, and I use this all the time with everything. She was like, "Be mindful of what you say and do, because you might be the only reason somebody knows."
Yeah.
So, because you might be the first example, you might be the first real example of what Christ looks like. You might be saying so that, and the Lord dealt with me recently over and over again about two things. What does the word represent mean? And it means to present again. The prefix of present is re. Re means to do over. And so we got to represent who Christ looks, who he is, not just what he looks like, but just actually who he is, and all the different characteristics. You go down and listen, read it for yourself. But another thing is if you don't plug into me, you don't got no power. Just like we got a plug to charge our phone, turn on the light, whatever. We trust that light is just gonna work because we pay a light bill. So if you don't plug into me, you don't got no power. So that's the same thing. If you're in a relationship, if you're not gonna be covered if you don't trust the Lord. You're not gonna have what King talked about, the discipline by not talking to somebody at 10 o'clock. You know what type of conversation about to have after that time frame. So yeah.
The prodigal son ended up eating with the pig pens, eating with the pigs in the pig pen, and being uncovered and not having all these tools without dating God's way. You are quite amped to end up in the dating pig pen.
That's good.
Dating the pigs.
That's good.
And these keys, accountability, communication, trust, and keeping God first will prayerfully keep you out of that pig pen of dating pigs.
Yeah. Woo.
That's good.
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah. Sow a seed.
Hey, that's the one. That's the one.
That was actually really, really.
That's the
Somebody
one.
sow a seed.
That's a
Hey,
servant
somebody
series.
sow a seed into Pastor Wood's life. Sow a seed in his life so he can come to Glen Burnie and get his hair cut by me.
I'm coming, Joe. I'm gonna text you.
Because
I'm gonna get the address.
he keep dealing with these PGDC barbers. They're not better than us up here in Baltimore area. Okay. I don't know what y'all go down there in DC or whatever.
Pretty
Not
gross.
like that.
My
Hey,
God.
Joe,
Not like that.
plug your grooming service, Joe.
So my business called Cargo Grooming and Styles. I use my appointments you're able to book them through an app called Booksy, Booksy, and so my link is literally cargo.booksy.com.
All right.
So it's super easy. Everything that's on my price list. So don't try to ask for a day that's not available. If it's not there, then that means it's not there. That means you can't book it. So don't be an idiot and try to get a day that's not available because that time is not there. Anyway, but no funny stuff. Like literally, so cargo.booksy.com.
Books.
Everything and anytime you got any type of
Book SIE.
no SY. So BOOKSY.
Oh, that's why. Thank you.
Yep. Cargo.booksy.com. And super self-explanatory. If you got real questions, there is such thing as a dumb question. But if you have real questions, I am very much open to to help out. So
Thanks, Joe. Emmanuel, what you doing over there? You selling beats? You selling music? You writing?
he ain't doing nothing but setting the mood.
No, man.
Back in internet.
Stop it. I have this Facebook page called E-Man Selection. So I basically do covers off of different songs and I put my own little twist to them. So that's basically what I've been doing. So if you want to take a look at the page, you can be inspired musically, and I pray that each song that I play blesses you in any way that you need it.
Keena, what you got going on over there?
Everything.
No, just production based. Creative Brain Studios is the name of the company. We do everything from photos to videography, weddings. Even if you're a person who just wants to start shooting content, we do consultations, teachings, trainings on design, logo design, graphic design, things like that. So Creative Brain Studios on all social media. Creative Brains with a K, I'm sorry.
What is it?
It's Creative Brains with a K.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
KREATIV.
Hey, y'all, thank y'all for coming on tonight. I really love y'all. I really appreciate you. Really
Thank you.
good input and insight, man. I'm so appreciative. Thank y'all for coming on tonight. Thank you, Pastor E, for hosting us, for moderating us, keeping us safe out here in these streets.
Right.
I think I did all right, Keenan. Was that?
Keeping us out the pig pen.
Right. Hey, if y'all don't know that Pastor E, she is actually teaching us from her seat. So everybody clap your hands for
You need to stop, y'all.
Joseph, stop it.
I come to Glen Burnie. You need to stop. I roll up on you on Glen Burnie.
Right.
No,
you're gonna roll up on your big wheel.
Like they are amazing people, man. I'm telling you, their heart is absolutely genuine. Like we're grateful. We're products of a lot of what they taught us. Honestly, I know we play around a lot, but they taught us a lot. So we're grateful to the both of them.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Keena. Check is in the mail. I got you.
You had the Shambuck anointing at one point.
Stop.
Love you guys. Thanks for joining.